Alright, what's up guys? So this is episode 7 of Real Paranormal Stories. So I had to re-record Paranormal Adventures because I accidentally started the new series to the last 3-part series a week early. So I had to redo that. So yeah, so this is episode 7. So what I'm going to start doing, starting next week, I didn't have time to actually consider what I was actually going to talk about for the last 3 episodes just yet. I want to kind of talk to everybody, and for the next week, I want to at least half of that, try and get everybody's scariest story that I haven't yet talked about. Because everybody has already seen all of my episodes, so I want to make sure that it's nothing that I've already talked about. So yeah, so this episode is going to be about myself and Jamie. So everybody had to get off because one, everybody had to either be at cheerleading practice or something like that. But Jamie got home early, and I had already filmed everything, I already took a shower and all that stuff. But everybody had to go back for some reason. But it was just her and I, but then it was eventually just myself. So I got off of FaceTime, and I was like, okay, so I got a lot of extra time, so why don't I just go downstairs, because this is before we moved the poker table down here, and I'm going to be getting my bed delivered next Thursday, so yeah, because it's currently Monday. It won't be this Thursday, but next Thursday. Because I'm in no rush of getting it, so I just clicked that. And but it could come a little bit earlier. I don't know. But it doesn't really matter to me. But so I decided, okay, I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna record, and then go from there. This is, I think this was a day before we decided that we were going to move the stuff down. So I came down here, and just before so usually what I do is I should do like a behind the scenes and all that stuff, because I did that two years ago. I really enjoyed that. So I may do that again. But basically what I do is I bring my notebook, my green notebook, and then an orange folder, which has all of my scripts in it. All 200 pages of all the series that I have. And then I also bring my iPad, my Amazon, my iPad, iPod, and iPhone down, because they also have notes in it too. And for the series I was doing, The Man, I needed my green notebook, so I just brought my green notebook down this time. But usually I bring everything down. But since I was only doing The Man and the Man's Man, all I had to do was bring the notebook down. So, and then basically I usually put it on the washer. Now I would just put it on the poker table, but I would put it on the washer and then get in character. And then, because usually I put on the hoodie, I think of think of a meta thing to start up with. I think of it in my head, and then that's how I get ready for the man. For madness, I just get the most serious and scary face that I can think of, and then start filming. So I was filming as a man, so I put on my hoodie, which I actually have it right here. Hold on, here, I'll show you. Make sure there's no spiders on it, because we are starting to put right here. This is the hoodie, what I like to call my most, if I did have an iconic character, that would be, I guess, it. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to film the man, and then if no one, because they said that they're all going to come back. They only had to go check on something and then come right back. So if they did that, I would not film Madness Man. So I did eventually do Madness Man, Real Paranormal Stories, and the man, and then they got back on. So I was about to press record. Just before I pressed it, I heard a very weird noise. Right here, actually, where I'm actually sitting. So the reason why I'm going backwards is because I have my projector down here, and I'm watching something I don't want to get copyrighted. So yeah, I'm gonna move like this. Okay, so here is the washer. Here's the washer. Really good, very expensive washer. Too expensive for my taste, but it does the job, so yeah. But I was right here. I'm not going to turn around because you'll see what's on the projector, and because it's YouTube, I don't want to get copyrighted. So I just about to press record right here, and then all of a sudden I heard a noise right here, and obviously the hard liquor and booze were not down here, but my favorite thing is the Bacardi Mango. Right, recently it's Bacardi. I love all Bacardi, but recently it's been more of the Mango. But had about 3 of those today with Coke. Whew, it's really good. But so it's right here, and it sounded kind of like a scratch, but kind of not. It sounded like a mix between a scratch and someone scraping something on the floor at the same time. So it sounded kind of like, here, what's something that I can scratch? So sound like that, but on the floor. But sounded like that on the floor. So I thought that was very strange, and now I just have Scooby up here. Scooby, I just put him on a chair, sit him right next to me, and he sits there, and I bring his food and his water down. I have to feed him because he has to wear a cone because of his hypersensitivity towards fleas. If just one flea touches him, he will bite and scratch that area until it is raw. Kind of like when I was a kid, I had severe eczema, and I would itch for so long. I would itch it raw, and that's basically what he's doing, and his skin shows it because his skin looks very, very, very bad. And the vet says that it's not as rare as you might think, but he did say that I'm very sorry, because I told him, I said I don't like bring him to the vet because people see him. I don't want people to think that I'm doing something to him, because without him I would not be here right now because of the things that were going on just before I got him. He says no. He says if you told them, they would understand. He says that you are a great owner. I can tell that you are trying. I can tell that you are busted your ass off to try and make sure your best buddy is doing good, and I really do. I give him a bath once a week. I wash his cone 2 to 3 times a day. because he has to wear it at all times, because if he doesn't, he will just itch and scratch the areas that even had just one flea on it. And sometimes vet says he may just bite and scratch the area because he assumes that there's going to be one on it. And he has given him medicine, but he says that might not even when it does work, it may only work 80-90%. But the damage that he has already done to himself because of the fleas, his hair might not grow all the way back, which does suck, because that means I can never really give him a walk, because people stare and people are very mean and very judgmental. So yeah, but so back to the story. So I immediately turned, was getting pretty scared. Now with all these lights, I don't know if I would get too scared, but since I only had the main light on, the main light doesn't even go this far back into the basement, because it's a pretty big basement. And so I got pretty scared. So I went over here, turned on my light on my phone, and I looked. I couldn't find anything. And then I guess I would say this is the most recent paranormal experience I've had, because it's only been a week and a half. So not even a week. I don't even think it's been a full week that we've had this stuff down here. So yeah, this would be the most recent paranormal experience I've ever had. So I'm checking everywhere, and then all of a sudden it happens behind me, but this time it happens on the washer itself. So I'm like, because I thought it could be an animal, like a cat that got down here. And now I let the cats down here, because with all the lights I can see all the cats, what they're doing and all that stuff. But before that, there was no animals allowed down here, unless it was Scooby, because all he does is sit next to me whether I'm standing up and recording or not. He'll just follow me while I'm recording. And I did make one mistake one time when I was filming the man, and I had to do a fight scene. It was just by myself, and Scooby, when I was basically, because when you're looking at it, like if someone watched me film, they would think it's the weirdest thing. Like you basically you're fighting yourself but you're playing as many different characters, trying to make sure that it's these different characters fighting, but it's just you yourself that's filming this. So Scooby, his look was like, what the hell are you doing? And he looked so confused, and he thought that I looked like a weirdo, which so it happened behind me, so I checked everywhere. There was no animals. So I was like, okay, so it's no animals. I checked in places where animals could get, maybe like hiding from me or something like that, and nothing. So I get back to the washer. I look out. I turn around to make sure that if it is something, I can see it. And I didn't want to put my back towards whatever this is. So this time, I didn't hear a scrape, but I heard something behind me. Well, behind me now, but I was looking, and it was a sound on the jacuzzi, and it was like this, like that, like someone knocking on the jacuzzi itself. So I got very scared. So I was like, okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but I decided to use me being scared and use that for the filming, because I'm actually scared. Use that while I'm filming. So I did that. So after I got done, it only took me around 3 minutes to film all the scenes for the man, because it was supposed to be a very short episode. And I finished filming. I'm like, okay, so it seems like everything's done. So I did finish everything and started FaceTiming again just before I was about to go up the stairs, and I'm on FaceTime, I hear the thing on the jacuzzi again, and everybody heard it, because if you slap this jacuzzi, you can hear it. It's very loud, and I use that for some of the sound effects, like stabbing or something like that. I would just put my camera up to the jacuzzi, slap it, kind of distort it a little bit, and make that like a sound effect. Because everything has to be practical with me, because I'm not so much a CGI fan. So yeah, but yeah, I heard that. So I turned around and everybody was like, "What the hell was that?" I turned around and I'm like, I'm gonna go upstairs. Like, wait, check that out. I'm like, okay. So I explained to them. They're like, okay, go upstairs. So I went upstairs, and obviously I didn't go downstairs for the rest of the night. So yeah, so that is it. I don't know what that was. It wasn't an animal, because I checked everywhere 3-4 times. Even while I was filming, I was making sure I was going all around and looking on the ground, anywhere, and all that stuff. So I don't know what that was, but yeah. So that's it. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.